Amen.
Amen. God is good all the time.
Amen.
Now today what I'm going to talk to you about is very important. Today I'm going to talk to you about protecting something that is very, God considers it very precious. I'm going to move this over to you. That's very precious to you and to God. Something that you should protect on a daily basis, every minute, every second of your life. And we don't really think a whole lot about it. Amen. We don't really think a whole lot about it. But we should be protecting it. It's our mind. We should be protecting our mind. Like the White House protects the president. When he goes, they do whatever they have to do possible to make sure that the president is safe. They don't just take him out of the White House and just take him across the street and wherever they're going to take the president, they make every effort, every plan to make sure that there's no terrorists there. And they bring when they take the president somewhere, I guarantee that they probably have the army all around making sure that there's nobody in buildings going to take him out. They make sure they put it to the T. They want to make sure he's safe. They surround him. They keep him. They got a watch on the president. Okay? You're not going to just walk up to the president and shake his hand without you getting through about 50 to 100 people before you can get to him or more. Okay? That's how protected he is. Okay? Because they count him important to our country. But the one thing we don't really consider important is our mind. Because we will sit in front of the TV, we will sit in front of the computer, we will even sit in front of books that we don't even know nothing about. And we will fill our mind, and forgive me for saying it, but we will fill our mind with trash and just fill our mind. And then when things come up in our life, the first thing we do is run to God and ask Him, why is this going on? Why are you allowed? And we don't need to be doing that. Because if we protect our minds, we'll know how to react in those situations. Let me ask you a question. If you have an umbrella, how many will go outside without an umbrella when it's raining? He probably would, because he likes the rain, don't you, David? You'll go out there. How many in here would raise your hand and say, I'll go outside, I don't care, I'll go outside without an umbrella? You want an umbrella, don't you? Why? Because you don't want to get wet, right? So we need, the same way we protect ourselves from getting wet, because how many know if it's cold outside and you get wet, it's not very comfortable, and you can get sick, right? So you're protecting yourself from the elements of what's going on. When it's cold outside, you don't walk outside with shorts.
Except my husband.
I'm guilty as charged. When it's snowing outside, but see, all I'm doing is I'm going to the car and I'm going to my job and I'm changing into something. But when I'm at my job, I put on from top to bottom. I got on the face gear, the gloves, the overalls, the coat. I got on everything to make sure that I stay warm when I go outside. Now, if I'm going outside to shovel the driveway, you ask my wife, I don't put shorts on. I put the boots on, the pants on. I make sure I'm nice and warm when I go out there. When I come back in, I stay in there to warm up. But I'm protecting myself from the elements that are outside. Okay? Same thing like with your house. Some people, not everybody, but there's some people that put an alarm system on their house because they may have expensive things in their house. They may have all this type of stuff in their house. How many know there's even people that put alarms on their car? To where if you walk up to their car and you get in and you barely touch it, whoop, 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 beep, beep, beep,
Well, that's pretty good, huh?
It's a protective, it's something that, they're protecting their car so somebody doesn't steal it. The people that put an alarm system on their house, they're protecting the elements that are in their house. Some people don't use an alarm system, they use Rottweiler dogs. You be a fool if going, you know what, I'd rather break into a house, I won't, just understand that I won't, but I'd rather break into a house that has an alarm system that has a Rottweiler dog. You remember that joke that I told you about the Rottweiler dog? Remember with the guy that broke in there and the bird was talking to him about the Rottweiler dog? Y'all remember that joke? Yeah. Y'all remember that one?
Where the man that broke in the house said
about the bird that kept saying Jesus is watching you.
Jesus is watching you.
How many hands you remember that joke?
And then he turns the light on and he sees the parrot talking. And he's like, oh, it's just a parrot.
Let me tell you real quick. So the burglar breaks into this person's house, and he's creeping across the floor, and it's completely dark in there. And he's creeping across the floor, and he hears, Jesus is watching you. And he goes, looking around. He didn't see anything because it's pitch dark, and he hears it again, Jesus is watching you. Well, what is that? So he keeps across the floor a little bit more, and he goes, Jesus is watching you, and he looks in the corner and sees his cage. He walks over and he sees a bird in there. And he goes, oh, it's just you. He says, oh, what's your name? And he says, what did he say his name was?
Buford.
Buford, something like that. He says, oh, my name is Buford. He says, what idiot would name the stupid bird Buford? He said, the same idiot that named the Rottweiler Jesus. Jesus is watching you. I don't want that type of Jesus watching me a Rottweiler. Yes.
Consolidation, yeah. He's the one.
Amen. I'm telling you, that's a good protective system when you got a Rottweiler in the house and he don't make no noise and you turn around and he's looking at it. I had a friend that had 2 Rottweilers, big black dogs. And I remember going up to the porch. Rottweilers don't have to do anything. They're smart. All they got to do is look and go, "Brr." That's it. Just make a little brr. And it'll scare the tar out of you. Yeah. I walked up and he had a Rottweiler sitting on his porch. And I walked up and I already knew the guy, but he would tell me, he said, don't go in the back door without me because I got Rottweiler dogs. So be hard if you're with me, but if you go back there without me, you're on your own. That's what he would tell me. So I went up there to the porch, and I knocked on the door, and I looked down at the dog, and the dog just looked up at me and just lifted up that one little side of my, like that. Didn't growl at all, just made a noise. You talk about fear that went from the top to the bottom. I said, Lord, please let him be home. Please, because my mom already left. And I had to, so I'm not going to try to run from a Rottweiler. I know it's either he's here or I'm dinner. I'm in trouble. Thank God he was there. So he was protected. He didn't have an alarm system, but he had a protection on his house, the Rottweiler. So people use protection for the things that they consider very dear to them. And the one thing that we as Christians forget and don't take very seriously is our mind. We need to protect with all. We need to get so serious about our mind. We need to protect it from what the world is trying, because God has given us promises. God has given us His answer. God has given us so many promises. Matter of fact, in the Bible, there's over 3,000 promises in the Bible that God has given us, that He's provided for us, and He said, these are your promises. But a lot of times we walk through life so discouraged with life because we don't protect our mind. Now, I'm going to show you this, okay? And the reason, I'm just building up to something, okay? So I'm going to show you some people here that God gave a promise to them. And out of all these men that He gave the promise to, there was only 2 of them that protected their mind and grabbed a hold of what God said. See, that's the problem. Sometimes God will give us something, but instead of protecting what God gives us in our mind, we don't protect that. We allow the influences of the world to come in, and we meditate on what everybody else is saying. You may have a promise in the Word. You may have a situation that you're going through, okay? And you may have people from the outside telling you, there's no way that the situation you're in, it's just impossible. There's no way. The doctor already said there's nothing they can do. Maybe you have a mortgage person that said there's no way we're going to sell your house. There's no way you're going to get this. There's no way you're going to get that. No way this, no way that, no way this. You got all, trust me, there's people outside that you don't want to talk to because all they're going to fill you with is worry, doubt, unbelief, and fear. And trust me, you don't need those in your life. If you're having somebody that's around you that when you're talking to them, all they're doing is filling you with worry, fear, doubt, and unbelief, separate yourself from them. Don't be around that person anymore. You say, well, that's kind of mean. You know what? I'd rather hang around with a person that is helping fill me with faith than filling me with fear, worry, doubt, and unbelief. Because I'm telling you what right now, I don't want to walk around this life worrying about everything, stressed about everything, upset about everything. How's God going to do this? I'm telling you what, when I walk around around somebody that is building up and say, God is going to take care of you. God's on your side. God's more than enough. No matter what you're going through, God's going to take care of you. He's going to help you out of there. He's the God that never leaves you nor forsakes you. He's more than enough. He's going to split the Red Sea for you, Johnny. He's going to make sure there's a way that there seems to be no way. No matter how big the mountain is, God is talking to the Israelites. And he's telling them, I'm giving you this land. The land flowing with milk and honey. He's getting ready to tell them, I'm giving you this land. Now listen to what God says to Moses. He says, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving the children of Israel. Okay, now right there I want you to understand something. It doesn't matter what the land looks like. It doesn't matter how big the people are. Right there it should settle in your mind, God's given it to me.
Amen.
It's settled. It doesn't matter how many obstacles I got to get through to get to it. It's already mine. It doesn't matter what the storm may hold. It's mine. You remember when the children, when the disciples got on the boat, and Jesus said, "Go to the other side," and the storm rose up. Let the storm come. Jesus said, "Go to the other side." He didn't say, "Let's attempt to go to the other side." What did he say? Let's go to the other side. If God says, gives you a promise, it should be in your best interest to meditate on that promise and to understand, no matter what you're facing, I'm not going to listen to somebody telling me it's not going to happen. Why? Because he already said it's mine. So why would I hang around with somebody that's going to tell me God's not going to do it when he already said he's going to do it? That's kind of foolish, right? So I got to protect my mind. See, because you can allow bad influences around you to where you meditate on the fact that you're not going to get it when God already said it's yours.
Amen.
God already said it's yours. He's already given you the promises. He's already given it to you. So watch this. Here we go. So God says, send these spies over to spy out the land. I'm already giving them the land. I want you to understand, I'm already giving it to them. So in verse 27, they already went over there. They already cut down the grapes, and these grapes are pretty big grapes too. And they brought them back, and here's what they said. Then they told them and said, we went to the land where you sent us. It truly is flowing with milk and honey. And this is its fruit. Look at the fruit of the land. They're showing them the fruit. They said, man, it's got some good fruit. It's flowing with milk and honey. But now listen to the rest of it. Nevertheless, the people of the land who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the descendants, and they started going on and on and on. All they were doing was giving a bad report. They forgot already what God had said. They forgot that God said it's your land. You're going to take possession of it. Because they went over there and they saw the land, so they come back and now they're giving a bad report. But here's two guys right here that remembered what God said. See, these are people I like to be around. I like to be around people that are going to edify you and build you up. And they're going to say, hey, it's okay, because guess what? God's for you, not against you. It's okay. God's going to make a way where there seems to be no way. It's okay, because God's going to split the sea for you, lot. It's okay. God's going to take care of it. It's okay. God's got it. Amen? So I like to be around people like that. Instead of being around people that are going, you know what the doctor said, there's nothing you can do. You're just going down from here. I'd rather just walk up and walk away from those people. Because all you're doing is you're filling your mind and you're going to meditate on what that person said instead of what God says. Amen?
Amen.
So here Caleb stands up. No, you don't have to stand up. He's like, whoa, I didn't know I was part of this group.
My son is
Caleb stands up. And listen, then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, I want you to know how Caleb went over. Now Caleb went over to the same land. Him and Joshua went over to the same land. Saw exactly what everybody else saw. He saw everything. He didn't go over to a different land. He saw exactly everything that everybody else saw. But what Caleb did was he chose to meditate on what God said instead of meditating what everybody else was seeing. See, in life you're going to see things. You're going to go through things. And the Bible says that you're not anybody that thinks when you're a Christian that everything's going to be a bed of roses, that's wrong. It's not going to happen. Okay? We go through things sometimes. But listen to me. We got the Word of God to stand on. Amen. We got the promise there, God. So here Caleb, he comes up and he's quiet the people. And he said, people before Moses, and he said, let us go over it once. Let us go over it once to take possession of what God has said. Let's go take it. Let's go take the land. But the men who were with Caleb, the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able. We can't do that. We can't take the land. We can't go out against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they gave the children of Israel a bad report, which they had spied out. And the land which they had gone over across to spy out the land, and they did all. And now listen to what they said. Listen how they saw themselves. There they saw the giants, and they said, and we were like grasshoppers in our own sight. You know how small a grasshopper is? Pretty small. He said, we were like grasshoppers in our own sight. And so we were in their sight. So the problem that they had was they were meditating on the wrong thing. They heard what God had promised. They heard what God had said. But when they went over there, they saw the problem and they began to meditate upon the problem instead of meditate on what God had already said they could have. Now, I want you to listen to this, because the word meditate, glad you asked what that means. The word meditate means to focus one's thoughts on.
Amen.
Oh. Think about that. To focus one's thoughts on. So you have a choice to focus what you want to think upon. You can either focus on whatever is going around you, or you can focus on what God said. Now listen. Now here, Joshua and Caleb, they're in the same land. They're walking through the same land. They're seeing everything that everybody else is seeing. He said to pull 12 men out. Then these were the 12 men. So there was 10 other guys. Okay? They went over there, besides Joshua and Caleb. And they're walking through the land. And they're seeing everything else that these other people are seeing, but they're making a decision to focus their thoughts on what God had said. These other men, the other 10 men, were focusing upon what they could see in the natural. But Joshua and Caleb, they made a decision. We're going to focus on what God said. We're going to protect our mind. We're going to protect what's between our ears. Okay? Now, in here, I want you to notice, in Joshua chapter 1, verse 8, this is where God is talking to Joshua, and he's getting ready to tell him to go over and take Jericho. And when they go over to take Jericho, he knows Joshua's going to face a problem. He knows he's going to face a situation. He knows he's getting ready to face something big. He knows the situation is going to be, when he looks at it, he knows it's going to be a hard thing to face, because he's going to be looking at a problem. Because Jericho was a huge wall. And it was mind-blowing when people saw it. How are we going to take Jericho? So God said, here's how I want you, before you even go over there, I want you to do this, to get ready. He said, I want you to meditate on the word day and night. I want you to meditate on what I've declared to you day and night, on the promise of God day and night. I want you to focus your thoughts on my promises day and night. Wow.
Amen.
Focus your thoughts on my promises day and night. We're going to turn to Romans. Protecting your mind. God has instructed us to protect our mind, because I'm telling you what, there's an enemy out there. He doesn't like you. He'll do anything in his power to discourage you, to get you down, to get you in worry, to get you in fear and unbelief. God, the only way you're going to pull yourself out of it is to meditate on God's promises. You got to meditate. You got to fill your mind with his word. You got to meditate on what he said. Listen to what he says right here in his word. How you doing? Romans chapter 12, verse 2. He says, do not be conformed to this world. Now, I like this word conform, because this is what conform means. To be similar to, or the same as something.
Amen.
To do what other people do, to behave in the way that is accepted by the world, or to do similar and identical, to be in agreement or harmony. So I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I don't want to conform myself to it. And that's what the TV wants to do. That's what the internet wants to do. That's what the enemy will even use a friend to try to conform your thinking to the world's thinking. Oh, you know, it's not going to happen. This is the way it is. This is the way it is when you get old. That's some stinking thinking. This is the way it is when it gets old. Well, I don't want to get old then. This is just what you got to expect when you get old.
Amen.
I've heard that from so many people. I'm going to tell you that. That's a lie straight from the pit of hell. This is not what you got to expect when you get old. This is what you get to expect when you get old, when you get young, when you get middle-aged. This is what to expect when you're walking through life. This is what I expect when I'm walking around in life. I don't expect whatever's going on in life. Yes, I'm going to have things come my way. Yes, I'm going to have situations come my way. Yes, I'm going to have problems come my way. I never say you're not. But you can, this is what you need to expect. You don't have to go, you need to watch what everybody else is saying. Because people will come and say those things. This is just what happens when you get old. This is just what no! This is what can happen when you get older. The older you get, can I tell you this? You can walk in health until the day you go see Jesus. You don't have to have cancer take you home. You don't have to have diabetes take you home. You don't have to have leukemia take you home. You don't have to have sickness take you home. You can lay down, go to sleep, and go home to be with Jesus when it's time. God is not using something from the enemy to take you home. God is not, he's not in cahoots with the devil. That's like the police being in agreement with the robbers. Saying, hey, we need to teach this guy down here on this corner right here how to be a nice guy, because he's not very nice. So I want all you robbers to go down here and rob his house and teach you how to be a nice guy. Is that nice or not? That's not nice. That's pretty mean. Well, that's the way people think of God. You know, Johnny's not acting very nice, devil. I need you to go and straighten her up and kick her in the butt and give her a bunch of sickness, and then she'll start praising me. Well, that sounds to me like it's forced praising. And God's not into forced praising. He's into you wanting to praise Him. He's into you wanting to serve Him. He's into you wanting to follow Him. He's not going to put something. I heard one brother one time, and if they're listening, I'm sorry. But I heard one brother one time saying God put him on his back with sickness to cause him to seek after God, and it was the best thing that ever happened to him. Let me tell you, sickness is never the best thing that can happen to you. God's the best thing that ever happened to me. God is the best thing that ever happened to you. So He said, do not conform to this world, but be transformed. See, God, how many have ever seen the Transformers? Y'all have ever seen Transformers? You know, when they're driving down the road and Optimus is getting ready to fight, and he's in an 18-wheeler, and he's dropping down, and all of a sudden he goes, you know that sound, whatever that sound is. And he goes from an 18-wheeler, and all of a sudden he transforms in his fighting machine. God is trying to do that with us. He's trying to transform us into where we are, into what He sees us to be: victorious, more than conquerors, healthy, whole, delivered, set free. He's trying to transform but He's got to transform our thinking. He can't transform our thinking. He can't transform us if the Bible stays closed. If we don't ever open this Bible and meditate on His Word, He can't transform us. But I'm going to tell you what, you are being transformed one way or the other, whether you like it or not. You're being transformed. You're being changed. Whether it's God that's transforming you or the world. And I don't want the world to transform me. I don't want to walk around in fear and worry and doubt. I want God's Word to transform me. Amen? Amen. I want God's Word to transform me. Listen to this. And this is the last thing I'm going to read to you. Jeremiah 29:11. I love this verse. If I can find it. Jeremiah 29:11. I love this. See, the reason why you need to meditate on God's thoughts is because God has a certain way He's thinking about you. God has a certain way He thinks about you. And if you're not meditating on His thoughts, you're not going to think about yourself the way He's thinking about you. You're going to think about yourself the way everybody else is. Or the way the devil is. You know, there's a certain way the devil's thinking about you. He wants to steal, kill, and destroy your life. He wants to put you down and keep you down. But you know what? God sees you as a winner. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen, He sees you as a winner. Get up and keep going. Listen, Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the thoughts. Now understand, God has thoughts. That means He's thinking about you. If anybody wants to know, well, how do I know what God's thoughts are towards me? the B-I-B-L-E. That's the book for me. I stand alone on the Word of God, the B-I-B-L-E. If you want to know what God thinks about you, if you want to know what His plans are, if you want to know if you're in the middle of a situation, if you want to know if He wants you to stay there, or if you want to know, does He want to heal me, does He want to deliver me, you got to get into His thoughts. You got to read His Word. You can't just let it collect dust. You got to find out what He says, and then you got to meditate on it. Protect your mind. Protect it. He says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, Percy, says the Lord." He said, "These are the thoughts I think towards you, Percy, says the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope." Now you need to put your name there. These are the thoughts I think towards you, Steve. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. Put your name there.